I've talked before about the mid-state folklore known as farm show weather. Fred, Marissa, Ben, and I had such a great time visiting the farm show this past Sunday that I thought it was worth an encore with a bit of an update. Now, the Pennsylvania Farm Show is the nation's largest indoor agricultural event with 24 acres under roof. Always in January, it started as a 3-day show in 1917 and most recently grew to 8 days in 2003. The Farm Show Weather Folklore says that some of the coldest and snowiest weather of the winter occurs during the show. Now, of course, it's supposed to be cold and occasionally snowy this time of year in Harrisburg, where the average January high and low are about 37 and 23 respectively. Average snowfall about 9 inches. So any event that lasts a week or so has a good chance of getting at least some snow. The Farm Show Weather Folklore probably has its roots in 1918, the second year of the show. That January was and still is the coldest month on record in Harrisburg. The highest temperature during the show that year was only 24. And when 4.5 inches of snow fell on the first day, the snowpack measured 16 inches. Now, the 1920s brought enough wintry weather during the show to keep the fledgling folklore alive, and it really got a boost in 1935 when almost 8 inches of snow fell during the show. The next year, more than a foot fell the day before the show began, and temperatures hit -6 that week. Farm show weather in the 1940s and 50s was unremarkable, but a 2-day storm in 1964 that ended on opening day left 18 inches on the ground, helping temperatures drop below zero the next 2 nights. That year certainly kept the folklore going, and in the 1970s, the weather really started to cooperate. Now, here's a look at snowfall during the farm show every year since 1970. And notice that starting in 1974, it snowed during the farm show 13 straight years. And you may remember that several Januaries in the late 70s were indeed brutally cold. Then in the 1990s, it snowed during every farm show. But the big one is the one off the chart here. You remember 1996. The infamous blizzard dumped more than 20 inches on Harrisburg, most on the second day of the show, stranding many who were there. Now, more recently, the snowy side of the folklore has taken a hit. In fact, in 8 of the last 12 farm shows, there hasn't been any measurable snow in Harrisburg. As for temperatures, the list of 10 warmest farm shows contains 4 years just since 2005, while the list of 10 coldest farm shows doesn't have any years this century. Last year was about the 25th warmest of the 100 to that point, and this year the cold start will be balanced by a mild finish, so it'll turn out about average. The general lesson here is that all it really takes to keep a weather folklore going is an occasional memorable event. And I think the farm show weather folklore may need an injection of cold, snowy weather soon. Stay tuned. The extended forecast is next.